This earlier part of the day for ADA is starting to make a few charts look really good. We're getting some important flips that are taking place that we've been waiting for. Could this, in fact, be confirming our next big move for ADA? Possibly. Coincidentally enough, we're seeing something that we actually saw back in the summer, which led ADA to do a very significant move to the upside, which I want to talk about with you guys. And I do want to give everybody a few reminders here that are popping up as well. I think that these are very important because we're obviously heading into a new era in terms of the Cardano ecosystem. So if you are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So yeah, this is looking very good right now. It is at about 44.5 cents at the time of filming this video. It's still very early on for the day. Obviously, I film most of my videos kind of earlier on, and I try to not let them get too long. I want these very condensed. I want to give you guys a bunch of information so you can obviously make judgment calls for yourself. And one thing I talk about a lot is stochastic RSI. I think it's a very important thing to watch. It shows momentum. It shows direction. And we've been kind of chopping around the top of this range and near the overbought portion of this since basically end of November, started December. And we've had some bearish flips. We've had some bullish flips, bearish flips, bullish flips. And we're kind of floating around the top here. And what I think a lot of people can get confused about is just because you're up in this oversold range doesn't mean you can't stick there. In fact, we had this exact same thing taking place back here in the summer, late June, early July. We entered the overbought range. Hopefully I said that right earlier. The overbought range. We kind of had our bearish flip, bullish flip, bearish flip, bullish flip, a lot of whiplash, right? And this actually is where ADA kind of stuck around the top of this while it was in fact able to do, from the bottom to the top, this 83% surge to the upside. Now, am I saying that's going to happen again? No, not necessarily, right? These things don't always take place in the same way. However, that would in fact lead us all the way to this longer term trend we were building in terms of ADA that puts us all the way up at about 68 cents. Again, I'm not saying this has to happen for sure, right? We're still waiting for the entire market to catch up right now. A lot of this PTSD to be kicked. But I will say, ADA's got some pretty loud things going on. Cardano has some loud things going on. This could potentially be the wind in our sails to really escape these ranges. What I also found very interesting about this is at that same point in time, we were down in this oversold range on the weekly, and we got our bullish flip, and away we went, right? Again, that big rally for ADA. So right now, we have gotten our bullish flip. This week, if it continues this way, is going to confirm this bullish weekly flip. And when we get these, again, as long as it's not a fake flip like we've seen a couple other times, if it is a confirmed one, this tends to lead to some of our most significant rallies in terms of price, okay? Now, I'm not trying to get anybody too excited. I'm not trying to pump euphoria into anybody, but just we need to be aware of these things. A lot of people have been screaming doom and gloom, but again, I keep saying there's a moment where a lot of people are going to get kind of stuck. Now, because we're seeing this green today, we are seeing a couple other positive things take place. ADA BTC chart, we're flipping that 20-day moving average, which is a range that we have not been above since all the way back here in September, right? This is usually a big moment for ADA because, again, this can trigger some of our big rallies. Coincidentally enough, last time we saw this aggressive of an attack on that 20-day moving average after being below it was all the way back here in the early part of July when ADA went on a significant rally, right? A lot of these coincide from a time standpoint perfectly. Same thing on the ADA dominance chart, bullish flip. We are, again, near the top here, right? Just as we were back here. This is all setting up very similar to June and July. It's almost the same from most aspects. Maybe not from a price entrance standpoint, because obviously, at that time we were still up in the 50 cent range or so. We had came down, we touched support. We had, we're kind of down in no man's land right now, testing supports from, all the way back here in basically the summer and fall of last year. But the point I'm trying to make is this is all looking very consistent. Big thing we haven't done yet is flip versus Ethereum. This doesn't need to happen. I think it will happen, but again, it's just all going to be about patience heading through this. Now, a couple reminders for everyone, or I guess a reminder for everyone. Cardano users will soon earn Night on top of their regular ADA staking reward. So that's a pretty big deal. I think there's going to be a big demand for Night right out of the get-go. And what that could mean in terms of the charts is it could mean a spike and then a drop following that. So just if you haven't been through a new launch, obviously I talked about new ecosystem launches yesterday, but if you haven't been through a new token launching, just be aware there tends to be this pretty aggressive run up out the get-go, and then it tends to drop off and people take some profits, and then you kind of settle into your support levels. And it's going to take a little bit of time to figure out what that exactly is, because there's a lot of eyes on this token right now. Something else I wanted to point to that popped up yesterday, 1 billion in USDT minted again. Liquidity just keeps rising. We're continuing to see injections in the crypto market. I even posted this with just kind of a sly face on there. And Nick Grayson said, "Don't say it." And, I keep pointing to it time and time again. These are the things that we have to watch, because obviously distinct changes the opposite direction are, something that would be slightly concerning. Now, that being said, I did want to give a big shout out. AB Cardano. He said, my YouTube 2025, I throw my fair share of criticism out there to these guys on YouTube, but I still watch them, obviously. I came in at number 2 here. So I have to say, guys, I appreciate you guys. This channel would not be anything without you. I've obviously been doing this for about 3.5 years now. The channel has evolved significantly since then. We went from just reading news to in-depth analysis to looking to big fundamental data behind the scenes, and it's going to continue to evolve over time. And a big part of that is you guys, offering your input, making comments on the channel. It sparks a lot of lively discussions, and I look forward to seeing what we can do, especially as we get into some more exciting times in the market and see some actual growth. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. Are these trends going to continue? Will we see ADA finally start blowing past some of these resistances? Could this open up the door for a bigger 50+% move ahead? But have a great day. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.